Welcome back to another episode of Be Like That. I'm Hobo. This is Rod.
You get through the intro without giggling?
Let's try again.
Just make that the actual
We're going to
intro.
cut that and put it at the end.
Yeah. Blooper. Have a blooper reel.
God, the bloopers we have already.
See, what you all should do is, like, save all your bloopers up and for, like...
Make a compliment.
Yeah,
like a 45-minute video of just goofs.
Yep.
Yep.
We'll get to that in a second. Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Be Like That. I'm Hobo. This is Rod. I'm putting that in.
You're in the camera.
And our buddy
forgot.
Samson. What are we talking about?
Yes. What?
Walmart.
Right, yeah. Dude, Walmart. Freaking sick of it.
Hold on. Before anything else is said, we are not promoting or demoting anybody. Go.
Yeah, we're just idiots in a camper.
We're just going on a little
Spouting
rant.
out our grievances.
Yes, dude, so I'm sick of it. Alright, Walmart is a whole problem at this point. I'm over it. I'm still going to get my groceries there every week, because where else am I going to go?
Right.
I want somebody needs to start another mega superstore, grocery store. What is Walmart? I don't know.
It's a super center.
It's a superstore. Supercenter.
You can get you.
We've got some multiple issues. This is my big one. Everything's expensive right now. On board. Got it. Inflation. Whatever. Learn to deal with it. I got you. I go get groceries. Alright. Go over budget a little bit. Not bad. Like, my wife's good with the money. I'm paying, even number, we'll round it up, call it $300. Okay? And I don't like the self-checkout things. Like, I don't like robots taking jobs from people.
Right.
I used to kind of, a little bit, like, back used to, they had like 30, like, checkout lanes, and they would have 2 cashiers.
Right.
So then they took out like a bunch of them. I think we're down to like 12 registers now, and then it's all like self-scan stuff. So I'm like, well, you guys didn't run the registers. You kind of let the robots take your jobs. Probably like a hiring, they couldn't find employees, whatever. Here nor there. What?
Couldn't find employees?
Yeah, like, if you run a store and you're like, I need somebody to run the cash register,
Oh,
but
you're
then
just talking about in
everybody's like,
general. Okay.
yeah, minimum wage is $7 an hour, and everybody's like, no, I want $30 an hour to run the register. Like, you can't hire anybody to run the register, get a robot to do it. I get it. But, like, I didn't love it. At first, I was like, cool, well, there's no lines over here. Now, I'm like, I don't work here. I'm not getting my 10% discount. Like...
And God forbid you make a fucking mistake. God forbid.
Yeah. So here's my problem is that I spend $300 in your business. I don't go to self-checkout, so I'm not scanning, $2 bananas on a TV. All right? I'm going through the thing. The person you trained to ring me up is ringing me up, probably correctly for all I know. And then I pay, I get my receipt, I'm going out the door. All right? Now, Walmart used to, when I was a kid, have door greeters. And it's usually like a Vietnam vet or something. With
Or
this, like,
somebody
Vietnam
elderly,
vet
disabled,
hat.
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of times at our Walmart, it was a Vietnam vet. It was like...
I mean, that's just because
yeah, it
our
was
area.
like 5'7", 5'8", like old dude, like bag of bones, like...
Hunched over.
Yeah, and like some days he wouldn't be feeling it. He'd be sitting by the door, and you'd come in, and he'd be like, "Hey, welcome to Walmart," or whatever it was he would say. Sometimes if he was feeling good that day, he'd be up. He'd have like they had like the big spool of like the smiley stickers.
Yes, I remember
Yeah, he's
those.
giving stickers to the kids and stuff. Like, it's a good time. You know what they got now? Not door greeters. On your way out, I just spent $300 in your store, and now you got 2 people on my way out checking my receipt to make sure I'm not stealing nothing on my way out. And I'm like, I want to. Like, have you seen these prices in here? I want to steal some stuff, but I didn't.
Fun fact. They cannot stop you from leaving the store without checking your receipt. They cannot forcibly stop you.
I know, dude. My wife is soft.
Unless they have like an actual reason to think you stole. Like if they caught you on camera or something doing something.
I want them to stop me.
Well,
I'm going to be a problem.
Well, I've learned this though.
I
Like
pay.
as soon as you get out the door, like there's nothing, like at all.
Yeah,
Like,
they're not
even if
allowed
you-
to follow you out the door.
Even if you,
Allegedly.
if you did steal something, and I'm not promoting thievery, I'm against it. But if you stole something and they had like probable cause to stop you, and you just walked out the door, like they can't follow you out the door in the parking lot. So.
Yeah, I hate it. I'm like, I just spent so much money in here. You're not going to call me a thief at the door.
Right.
Like,
If you don't
I don't
trust me,
steal things.
Especially when I'm going to the cashier.
Like, that's, like, I'll do a lot of stuff. I'm not going to steal and I'm not going to lie.
right.
Yep.
So, like,
Yep.
you accuse me of either one of those things, we have a problem. And I get accused of it every time I go to Walmart. And I'm like, dude, I don't play with them no more. Like, I pay for my stuff. I get the receipt. I hand it to my wife because she's soft and she's going to let me look at the receipt. I walk and they're like, oh, sir, we need you. I'm like, yeah, cool. I'm out the door. I'm halfway to the car. She's still back here letting them look over the receipt. I'm like, if you want to interrogate me, you chase me down and let's cause a scene. I need your manager. Like, this is going to be a whole thing. It's like, stop me. Like, if you want to inspect my car after your employee rung me up, I did my job. I picked out the things I want. I brought it to the register. Your employee scanned me out, gave me a price. I gave you that much money. You gave me my receipt. Now, I'm allowed to leave
Yeah.
with said items.
Yep.
You're trying to add another step in here, and I'm not going to stand for it. I'm going to the car.
Right.
Like, chase me down. Please, for the love of God, somebody chase me down one day. I'm not even going to sue. I just want to cause a scene. And I hate causing a scene. Dude, I broke up with a girl once because she caused a scene everywhere we went. And I was like, I don't like people looking at me. Like, if a stranger is looking at me, there's a problem.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't want to be seen. I just want to exist and nobody know I was ever here. It's like, if we're all hanging out somewhere and you're doing something and you're causing that table to look at us, then I'm like, bro, you gotta chill. We're not hanging out no more.
Right.
Like, I'm not doing this. Can't have people looking at me.
I don't know. I've caused some scenes in some FedEx trucks with you before.
I mean, that was semi-private though. That's like us like yelling in the car or something. Not disturbing
We
anyone
pulled
else.
up to a shoe store, almost in a fist fight, over if tomato was a fruit or vegetable.
I knew them though. I delivered every day there. We're in the back of the store by the loading dock.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah,
that's
it's just
true.
Bob coming out to get the shoes. Like,
Yeah.
that's not. I wouldn't call that a scene. It's the scene for whoever the third party company is that monitors those cameras.
I still remember that time too, because I always like exaggerate my sneezes a lot of times just to be funny. We was at a stoplight and we had the slidey door open, and I made
There's no AC.
Yeah, there was no AC, and I made like the fucking loudest and gayest sneeze you could ever imagine. This woman just snapped her head and looked at me like I wanted to kill her firstborn child.
And I think it's hilarious, but every time he sneezes loud, I'm just like, would you shut up? Nobody wants to hear that stuff. It's a problem because now when my wife sneezes and she's like, it's cute, and I'm like, could you shut up? And she's like, what? She don't think it's as funny as we do.
Right.
She don't, well, she's actually pretty good about the, I hate you, that's how I show my emotions.
Right. Yeah. Funny thing though is I was working at Fedex first, so when he came, I trained him.
Yeah.
Was it a week or 2 weeks?
You trained me, it was 3.
Was it 3? He rode around with me for a while as my jumper. And,
Yeah.
It's not a crazy job. It only takes a week to train you. I don't know why he was with me for so long. So,
Because they couldn't get me on a route.
yeah, we were running max efficiency.
Yeah, we was done early every single day.
Killing it.
Listen, just be happy you got trained. When I started FedEx, it was like, oh, I'm going to let you ride with me today. Tomorrow you're driving. You're supposed to be driving the next day, and I'm in the car with you. No, like day 3. Good luck.
Well, see, they put me with him for 3 weeks, training with him. But he drove a city route.
Yeah.
When I got done training with him, they stuck me back in the fucking haulers.
I had like a mixed route. I had some like I went like Royal a little bit, but like most of my route I had a lot of bulk stops in the shopping center.
No, like mine was BFE, dude. Like,
Mine was too. Where was it at?
Where'd I run? Cut.
Yeah.
Day 3. Like, just good luck. And back then we didn't have the iPads. Like,
Oh, I mean, I had an iPad, but where I was at, it fucking. Good luck getting to where you wanted to go. Yeah, we can cut this back in.
We can go back in where we
we'll
start talking
jump
about
back in
iPads.
somewhere. I kind of got I rode with like one guy, and like helped him with his route, but he didn't really train me. He would just stop and he'd be like, run this box to that door, and I'm like, all right, cool. I'm not really learning nothing. When they gave me my route, because there was 2 routes that were bigger than mine. So like I started out in the deep end, and they were like, this guy, he was our in-house mechanic, and they were like, he used to run this route. And I'm like, cool, I didn't know any better. By used to run that route, they meant 15 years ago, when it was a 50-stop route, and now it's a 200-stop route. He run it for half a day with me, and where he run it so long ago, he didn't do anything on like the tablet or anything like that. I think we had iPads, but he back in the day, they used to come in early, and while they were loading the truck, they would look at the addresses and write them on a notebook. So he's in there like writing this stuff down and everything, and they're like, nobody's taught me that way. They're teaching me off the iPad this far. So we run like half a day. He's all over the place. Like, since I've run that route by myself for so long and stuff, then I was like, oh, I look back all the time. I'm like, why was he running the route this way? It made no sense at all. It wasn't like I ran it one way, but he ran it backwards from the way that I like. It was like he was over here, and then he was over there, and then he was down there, and then he had to come back over here. And I was like, why didn't we drop this package off when we were at the house across the street? Like, why are we bouncing around so it made no sense. He ran half a day with me, and then he was like, cool, we got some pickups, and we can't pick them up late, so I'm going to get in another truck. I'm going to go pick those up while you finish this route. When I get done picking that up, I'll come back and help you finish. And I'm like, cool. So like I jump on the iPad and I'm like, all right, I don't know what we've already delivered. Like, I don't know nothing. So I just like start, and I'm like, we'll figure it out. So like I just go somewhere, and I park in their driveway, and I unload almost this whole truck in their driveway looking for their package. And I'm like, it's not on here and stuff. And I was like, all right, maybe I'll find it later and I'll come back. So I'm just like, go to the next place. And I'm like, all right, we've already delivered some stuff, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find some packages. I'm going to be like, cool, here's the address on the box. I'm going to go there, deliver it, and I'm just going to do that until I'm out of boxes. They come back to me at like 9 o'clock at night, and I'm like, y'all abandoned me for 5 hours for one, and then you come back and you're like, are you done yet? I'm like, no! Not even close! Like, y'all drug me out in the deep end and just left. Like, and it's like, I'm not giving up. I was like, I'll stay out here all night. Like, I'm getting these packages delivered one way or the other.
I get paid by the hour.
Exactly.
And they're like, what's taking so long? And I was like, well, I spent an hour and a half just trying to figure out what was on this truck because you didn't do anything. And then the other guy, I think the structure was weird. Like, I think he was like technically his boss, but the other guy had been there longer than him, so they were like kind of equal. It was a real weird dynamic. And I'm just like, I don't know
what
do I need to yell at? Do right now.
Yeah, because I think he worked there when we did, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you worked on the other
he started
side
before me, but he was with a different company.
Yeah, because we out of the same terminal, but you were on the other half. Because I had that same issue that he was talking about. Like, I didn't know who I was supposed to listen to because they were both telling me 2 different things, and it's like you're both my boss, but one of you is the boss, but you're not the boss.
Yeah, well, like the mechanic, I was like, why are you? Dude, because him and one of the other managers, our contractor, he like sold out. I think he sold everything, but they bought half of the company, and it was the half that I was on. And I went to the manager. I was like, dude, like, love this dude, great boss, like, hooked me up, took care of me. I took care of him. Like, I'll run myself to death, but like that's the one thing. Like, I'm a good employee,
Right.
and like I'm going to give you what you need, and you're going to take care of me when I need taken care of. So, like, I mean, he made sure, like, I needed days off, I got days off. He gave me extra vacation time for different stuff. Like, when I went to truck driving school, I already used my vacation time, and I didn't realize I was going to go to truck driving school yet. And you don't get paid at truck driving school, it's 2 weeks. He gave me 2 weeks of vacation, so I ended up with a month of vacation time that year, because he was like, you know, he's going to hook me up like that. So, like, him and the mechanic bought that side of the business, and I probably would have retired there because like I loved it, dude. I was home at 5:30 every day. That made enough to pay the bills. Like, it's good enough. But like when they kind of kept it secret for too long, which I didn't love. And then like when we all did find out about it, I got with him and I was like, dude, how is this gonna I'm not going to work for him. I was like, is he like doing paperwork, stuff on the back end, and like you're going to deal with us or what? And he was like, yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. And I was like, cool. If he comes around here acting like he's my boss, I'll walk. Like I'm not working for him. I'll work for you for as long as I need to. I'm not working for him. And then he come around running his mouth. And the thing that irritated me is that he was the mechanic for us, and our trucks were falling apart. Like they were severely under maintained.
Yeah, I remember seeing your truck.
Yeah, when it fell off the frame.
Yeah.
Because it was held on by broken U-bolts that he knew were broken. And he was like, oh, I wondered how long those would hold. I'm like,
That's my life you're
yeah,
playing
dude,
with.
I pulled out of a parking, not even going fast. I was just easing out of a parking lot, and the body rolled off of the frame. So I'm like, if I was out in the holler delivering the Royal side of my route, like I could tumble over a mountain coming around some of them curves at like 45, which is like not even speeding. That's under the
reasonable
speed. That's well under the speed limit. If I come around one of those curves at like 45, and the thing where I barrel roll off a mountain, and I'm like, you're just letting me roll around with that as a possibility, dude? Hate it, because I was like, you don't even do your job. And then you come around, and we were gearing up towards peak, and I hadn't seen that many new guys coming in and getting trained. I was like, yo, what are we going to do for peak? Like, y'all ain't hired nobody, and at this point, by the time we can get somebody trained, we're going to be in it. Like, they don't have time to, like, really figure out what they're doing. We're going to throw them out in the deep end and hope they can swim. And he's like, I mean, you're just going to have to work a little harder. And I was like, to be fair, like, I got done quick. I had plenty of downtime, because, like, I would finish my route, and then I had pickups that I couldn't get before a certain time. So, like, I'd go there, back up to the dock, and watch Netflix on my phone until it was time to get my stuff. But, like, I ran my route efficiently. And, like, I'd park my truck. I would come in early, make sure all my boxes were lined up and stuff, where I could scan them, grab them, and run. I didn't walk to the doors. I had your packages, and I'd run to your front door, put your stuff down, and I'll run back to the truck. Like,
Right.
I'm making up time everywhere I can. Alright? So, like, I had plenty of downtime and stuff, but I did that for me, so I could have a long lunch break.
Right.
Alright? That was for me. I worked hard, so I could get a reward out of it. And he's like, well, you're just going to have to work a little harder. And I'm like, you don't even work. I was like, no, I'm going to truck driving school. You can have this job. You work harder.
Well, see, when I done that,
I'll go from 200 stops a day to 1 stop a day.
see, like when I first started there, it was kind of the same. Like I'd get to my pickups before the time was, but they were really cool. But they're like, hey, just take what we got now. And by the time I got back to the terminal, the window's open.
Right.
So I just scan them.
Yeah, I had
Call
something
it
like
a day.
that.
But like the route I was on when I left FedEx, like I'd get done 3:30, and my window wouldn't open up till 5. So like you said, just sit there, put on your phone, watch Netflix. Like, I mean, I've taken naps on the shelves in the back before.
Right.
Like, nice shelves.
I had one. I didn't get it often. It was actually somebody else's pickup, I believe. But I could not get it before 5. And I was used to, like, doing all my stuff, getting my pickups, being back at the terminal. I was home by 5:30.
Right.
So, like, I'd get all my stuff done. I would get there, and they knew. I'd go in and let them know. But, like, I'm here. And then at, like, 5:01, if I wasn't opening their door and backing my truck in to get their stuff, they come wake me up. Because I'd be in there. I would just lay on the shelf and watch movies on my phone or something. Like, sometimes I'd fall asleep out there.
Right.
Like,
Well, see, my contractor, he like if I sit there for too long, he'd be like, "Hey, why don't you go see if they'll open up the window early? Like, see if they'll let you come home early." It's just like, I mean, at some point they finally got fed up. It was like, "Dude, we can't do this to you every day.
Right.
We can't let you just grab your stuff or grab this stuff and go.
Right.
Like, there's stuff that comes out last minute." I'm like, "Hey, I'm just doing what I'm told. If you say no, I'm sitting here,
I get paid by the hour.
Yeah, I'll
sit
pay by
here
the hour.
all day.
I'll get paid to sleep.
right?"
Yeah, because I asked them about mine. So I was like, dude, if I didn't have to sit here and wait on these windows to open up, like as efficient as I am, I'd be home by 3 o'clock. I'd get my kids off the bus.
Right.
I was like, I have no problem going home early.
Right.
Like, I'm more than willing to earn my money. But if you're going to pay me to sit, I'll get paid to sit. I have no problem with it.
Like you were talking about, like during peak, like the guys not having enough time to like click and get the routes and stuff done
Right.
and the whole job. I had a guy that I had to trade on a specific part of the route during peak. and then he had this other side that he had to learn too. And turned out he was a great worker. But for the first month he was there, I looked at my contract and was like, "Nah, this guy's not going to make it.
Yeah.
You just need to get rid of him." And he just looked at me. He's like, "Listen, we're going to give him a little bit more time. Eventually, it's going to click, and it's just going to be smooth as butter." And I help this dude every day. Phone calls. "Hey, you're done. Go help this guy. You're done. Go help this guy."
Yeah.
I finally just got fed up with it, and hey, and that's when I said it. And probably about 2 weeks later, I got done and called that guy and was like, "Hey, where you at? I'm on my way to you." He's like, "Dude, I'm at the house." I was like, "Okay,
I mean, at
I
some
get to
point,
go
you
home
just-
early?"
At some point, you just connect all the dots, and then you're like, okay, this is how it works, and you just hit the ground running.
Right. Well,
It just takes some people longer to connect the dots.
that's one thing I do love about that job. And like you said, I'd still be there. Like, if it had better insurance and better benefits,
Yeah.
I'd probably stayed there. And I get to make my route the way I want to make it and the way I want to deliver. Like, if I want to start, or if I've got certain stops, I can start over here because I'm heavier over there and clear my truck out faster, or start on this side because of the same thing, or whatever.
Yeah.
But he was also talking about how the mechanic,
Yeah.
would run here, 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 and here.
Yeah, it's all over the
Like,
place.
literally, the way I ran my route, if I had, what's a major road?
I don't know.
Anyway.
Do you want to say a major road?
2-lane road?
Yeah, major 2-lane road, kind of like through a city.
Like Main Street?
Yeah, we'll go Main Street,
Okay.
like down Main Street. Okay, the way I would do it is I'd come in this way, I'd hit all my stops that are on the right side of the road.
Yep.
Turn around, come back. We had a guy would go here, 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 and here.
You're just killing time.
I mean, I
It
guess
depends on
I get
how
it.
busy it is.
So with my route wasn't so much a down and back. I had to go down, go over here, and it kind of looped around, and then I'll go up this one and back out, and then come back.
Right.
So it was like a circle with like weird offshoots and stuff. So like,
That's how mine was.
yeah, I would get somewhere like if I had like a subdivision, it's got like 10 houses or whatever. I'd pull like the 5th house, or like say there's like 5 on each side or whatever. I'd pull like the 3rd house or something. Park my truck, set my flashers, run in every house in that neighborhood.
Right.
Just and
Well,
then
that
jump back in the
makes
truck,
sense.
getting up. Coming down Main Street or something, like I'd pull up, be like if I, deliver here, here, and here, and then like one over here, like I'll park, drop that one, throw everything else on my dolly, run it across the street, knock those out, go a little farther up the street, do it again. Cause like I'm not trying to be on this road twice today. Like I'm already here, I'll just run across the street and knock it out.
Right.
So like I get that. If it was a simple like I'm gonna hit this road, go from here to the next town, deliver everything on the right on my way back, and then I'm done for the day, I'd do it that way.
Well, that brings me to another point. You can do just about anything as long as you have your 4-ways on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And, in a delivery vehicle, absolutely.
Dude, I never
You
got,
could block a road if
I've
you really wanted
never
to.
got pulled over in a FedEx truck.
Neither have I.
We had a guy got pulled over, got a ticket.
For what? Speeding?
I don't know.
Some cop just didn't want his packages delivered on time, sounds like to me.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
why I assume I never got pulled
No,
over.
see, what happened was it said it got delivered, and it didn't get delivered, and he was mad. He saw the first FedEx guy, and was like, you know what? Fuck him.
He's like, you got my package on there, don't you?
But yeah, like 90% of the cops that I dealt with, like when I worked there, just like I was going way over the speed limit on some of those roads, and they're just like,
Not wearing your seatbelt because
Not
you're
wearing-
jumping in. That's the only job where I've been like,
Fuck
yeah,
the
because I'm
seatbelt.
pulling up half a mile and I'm jumping right back out, and I'm
Right.
doing that like all day. But then like when I finish, I'm like coming back to the terminal, seatbelt.
like going to
Yeah,
your
you
route, coming from your route. If you've got like going up in a rural area, you got 10 miles between a house.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But if you're going half a mile to a mile, granted, wear your seatbelt no matter what,
Yeah, all the time.
all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I'll be the responsible one all the time. But
I don't think the government should be able to tell me if I want to die in my vehicle because, in my opinion,
If you're
Hold on,
alone
hold
in
on.
your vehicle, I'm with you.
Hold on, no, listen. Whether I'm alone, whether I've got my wife in the car, that sounded horrible. But, like, if I don't want to wear a seatbelt, I shouldn't get in trouble for it.
Yes.
Just because it's like,
you're an adult.
statistically speaking, like, you could say that seatbelts are safer, but in my mind, you've got a 50-50 shot of dying. So, like, if I want to die without a seatbelt, cool. If I want to die with a seatbelt, cool. I'm either going to live or die either way.
I know someone who specifically don't wear their seatbelt because they never did, and then they rolled their car.
And got flung out.
No, it caved their roof in, but where they wasn't wearing their seatbelt, when they were rolling, it just flopped them over in the passenger seat, and it caved the roof in. I think they had to be cut out of the car, maybe.
But they live.
They were totally fine. But they were like, dude, if you were wearing your seatbelt when the roof caved in, it would have just crushed you.
Right.
Well, see,
So it's like, you could argue it both ways. The argument I have for it is, like, if you're in a car and you go barrel rolling down the highway, and you're bouncing around in the cabin, you're slamming into the other people that's in the car with you.
that's understandable.
Yeah, they may have not signed up to get, because I mean, if you're 200 pounds and you're going 70 mile an hour, it's like 200 times 70, that's how much force you're hitting them with. They might have not signed up for that. But if you're the only one in the vehicle, like, I think it should be your decision if you get flung through the windshield or not.
Well, okay, we're going to go from there to wearing a helmet on a motorcycle.
Well, I want to say one thing first about the seatbelt. In my opinion, because, like, a lot of them say seatbelt saves lives. Yes and no. They save lives until you get to the hospital and then you just end up dying later. Or they save your life and now you're a fucking vegetable. I would rather die than be paralyzed or have to shit in a bag. I can't even wipe my own ass anymore. And, like, it's just...
There's some degrees. I used to be with it, and I was like, if I can't kickstart a dirt bike, just old Yeller me.
Well, I'm not talking about, like, you lose one leg or one arm. I'm talking about, like, a lot of times when the seatbelt comes in to save your life, you're talking about, like, back-breaking injuries.
Right.
Or snapping your neck from whiplash.
Yeah, it's like you're alive, but what's your quality of life?
Exactly.
We'll see at that point, like, when you're talking about that kind of impact, you've got your airbags coming out, which I've got a bone to pick about airbags, too. Because I've been in, I'm not going to say numerous car accidents, but I've been in a couple, like, single vehicle issues. You know, I went off an embankment, you know, stuff like that. Smacked a tree, went to a ditch.
Is that the Ranger?
One of them.
One of
The
them.
second one. But anyway, like, it may have just been where it was an older vehicle, but I have never had an airbag deployed.
I haven't either.
So the Ranger that I'm thinking of, you caved in like the passenger side and stuff.
Yeah, that was with a guardrail.
So with like your Rangers and S10s and
Oh, that
stuff,
was
they
great.
just have the
Front.
airbag in the steering wheel and in the glove box, like dash area.
Right.
Those are front impacts. You didn't have any impact like on your bumper area. It was all just down the side. If you would have had like the new cars with the airbags that come out of like the headrests and the doors and stuff, those would have went on.
No. So on a certain road, I literally had bald tires. I was driving in the rain. It was whatever.
Slicker than dog snot.
Slicker than dog snot. And the cars in front of me jammed brakes. And I hit my brakes and just started fishtailing. I'm like, all right, here it is. If we're not hitting them, there's the ditch. Went into a culvert. Destroyed the front end. And I heard something on Mythbusters like the reason drunk drivers don't get hurt because they
Because they're
just
so
so limp.
limp.
And I'm just like, well,
Right?
and was watching the steering wheel waiting for impact. And just nothing. Just
I mean, that's
Well-
like...
Yeah, see, that's silly because I had like a minor fender bender when I was in high school. I rear-ended somebody, I was in my mom's truck, set off every airbag in the car. $10,000 to fix this truck back.
that's also like when I was
The
in high
insurance
school.
paid for it.
When I got T-boned. Remember when I got T-boned?
Yeah.
Didn't set off, like it caved in
I mean-
my entire side of that car.
It's an 89 Mercury.
It was an
though.
89.
Did it even have airbags?
It had airbags, but
The sensors probably didn't work.
A few years later, I slammed it into a bank.
You slammed it in the bank first, didn't you?
No, did I slam it into? Yeah, I did. I did slam it into the bank
that was
first.
like the first day you got your license. You took that corner too fast and slammed it in the bank.
Yeah, because I had all
while
those
later you
guys
got
with us.
T-boned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never once airbag go off. My mom used to have a Chrysler 200 2012. Me and my brother was riding. And my brother is the type of person.
I always wonder what happened to that car. Did you guys wreck that car?
Chris did.
Nice.
My brother. He is one of the type of people who has to have eye contact when he talks to you. So if he talks to you in a car, what are you saying? And he did what you did. Like, he took it straight into a ditch, hit a culvert, going under somebody's driveway, concrete, shattered the concrete, completely totaled the front end of this car. Not a single airbag went off.
Well, okay, so like I get the safety function, like the idea of them makes sense.
With mine, all these airbags come out, $10,000.
Right.
Insurance company, but pay your insurance. But if the airbags wouldn't have come out, it would have been a bumper, a grill, and the hood.
Yeah. If you wanted to fix that.
The airbags come out, it busted the dash in 6. For some reason, the seatbelt's locked up, which I did.
They locked the seatbelt up so that way you don't slam forward.
Well, no, like I was like, cool, impact. All right, I'm gonna take my seatbelt off because I'm fixing to jump out, make sure people in the other car is okay. My wife, we were just dating at the time. She's in the passenger seat. She didn't take her seatbelt off.
You were going to prom for that, wasn't you?
Yeah, that was on our way to prom. It was super hot. Looking at the truck later, the seatbelt that I took off, it was pulled tight like a guitar string when it rolled up and it locked up.
Yeah, they do that.
Hers was locked up, but it was super stretched out. And I was like, I don't understand what's
weird.
going on right here. I don't like that one's as tight as it is. That's tight, like it pulled it tight and locked it. So I was like, probably a good thing I took that off. I don't understand the science behind that.
I mean, I would think it would be like sort of like similar to the airbags to keep you from like slamming your face into your steering.
Yeah, that's why they got like if you jerk on them, they catch. Like that's for that. But then like when you take the pressure off, they free back up. I don't know why it's.
Sometimes, like if you stretch them out too far, it locks them, and that's also could have been what happened. You could have stretched it too far in the wreck, and it broke like the locking mechanism, maybe.
Well, I didn't stretch it that much because I didn't limp it up. I was like, it's been a while since I've had a cast on, so like, I'm on my way to prom. I'm not trying to get a broke nose from an airbag. Also hurt because she dropped her phone to the floor, so she's don't even know what's going on. She's reaching for her phone down here, and I'm like that because I see it coming, but I'm like, it's
that's
too
broken
late.
neck.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's a kill shot. So I'm stiff arming this airbag over here, which like it didn't break my arm or nothing crazy. I think I barely got the side of it and just like deflected it because like the airbag just skimped the side of her. Like she was totally fine, didn't mess up her makeup or nothing.
That's good.
Like we went to prom later, nobody knew anything. Like it's fine.
I knew.
Mom's truck was $500 away from being totaled.
See, like the second Ranger that I wrecked. Okay.
Sounds like you got a bad history with Rangers.
It sounds like Ford's not the
Ford
brand
is
for
not
you.
my.
And
my
don't
choice.
you have another Ranger now? Ain't you thinking about getting a second
I
one?
have
Thinking about getting another F-150.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Now,
Because the first two he had broke down.
Dude, you just got to give up on Ford.
Just giving up on Fords.
Engine in one. What's the other one? Engine or transmission or both at this point? It's set around. It was okay.
Which one
It's
you
set
talking
around.
about? The S10?
No, the red F-150.
The red F-150. The engine locked up.
Well, that's from it setting for so long.
Yeah.
Why was it parked?
Why was it parked?
Yeah, transmission, rear
I
end.
think it was train.
I think because I think it wasn't shifting gears or something. So
It was
you parked
transmission.
it
So
and never
I
got
parked
around
it,
to fixing it. And it
then,
set so long the engine locked up.
like transmission, and when I went to look at it, basically like from what I could see, it was just like the filter popped off and it wasn't pumping it up and into the transmission. So it's like, which I'm not a smart car guy, so like I may be talking out my butt, but like that's what I could see.
You get our
And
way
then
around.
from there, like it wasn't getting fuel, so I had to replace the fuel pump.
Probably needs a new flux capacitor.
Right. And then, like, I forgot to fill the blinker fluid, so you know, it all sorts of messed up. Now the engine locked up in it, and I just couldn't get it done stuck. But the second Ranger that I had, smacked mailbox, smacked tree, went to some guy's yard, hit their ditch. My face made contact with the steering wheel. No airbags deployed, and I'm just sitting there like.
The one time I want airbags to deploy is when I'm getting ping pong ball.
No,
around
hold on.
in here.
I think that I got better off without the airbag.
Really?
Yeah, because if I had the airbag, like the way my face came down, like it hit the top arch of the
Snacky
steering
neck
wheel.
bag.
Yeah, and like if the airbag would have come up, I'd probably had a broken nose, blood everywhere.
Right.
Like, and I drove every vehicle that I have, had an incident with. I have drove home.
I've drove everything. I ain't getting.
I think I have too. Every wreck I've had, like that, when I slammed into the embankment, it went like 15 mile an hour home because I slammed that gas pedal forward, but it went home.
Dude, my worst one, I had a S10 Blazer in high school, and this was not my fault. This was the previous owner. Okay, this thing was. I took a snow shovel when I first bought it and was shoveling trash out of it. Like, it was not maintained. When I changed the oil in it for the first time, because I was like, I do that most of the time when I buy a used car, especially.
You always should.
Most of the cars I've bought, I've paid less than $1,000 for. So I'm like, they need an oil change, spark plugs, wires, like full tune up. I go to change the oil in this thing. Take the drain plug out. Nothing comes out. And I was like, surely this thing's not empty.
Was
So
it sludged?
I take a screwdriver and stick it in the oil pan, and it's coming out looking like oatmeal.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, we are way past due for a change. So we got all these chunks out of it. So this thing is not well maintained at all. And I'm coming home. It's my wife, but we were in high school. We was just dating then. So like I took her home, and then I was on my way home. Cause I was hanging out with her for a little bit. But then my mom called me, and she was like, "You can come home right now." So I was like, "Cool, I'm in trouble. I'm not in a hurry. It just started raining a little bit. I'm in trouble. I'm not trying to get home any faster than I have to." All right, so this is not me driving too fast or nothing. I go around this corner, and the rear end locks up. Best thing I can figure, something happened. The rear end locks up. But I spin around, bounce it over a ditch, and then the front passenger tire meets a tree, and it kind of twists it around it. So it just like caved my fender in, bent up my A-arms, and my front passenger wheel is like sitting like almost at a 45-degree angle. Like the tie rod ends are scratching up the insides of my rims.
Oh, that's fine.
I drove it a lot after that. That rim was almost eat through by the time I quit driving it. But I think whatever locked up the rear end, I guess when I hit the tree, it must have knocked it back loose and it freed back up. So I don't know. But it did break the plastic thing that goes around the fan on the front, shroud. Plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it broke it on the bottom, and a piece was stuck up in the fan, so the fan couldn't turn, so it choked out the whole engine. So I was like, well, this is cool. And I sat there, and like the only thing I really know is that I don't want anything on my record. So like I don't need a police report, I don't need an accident report. Like insurance for a teenage boy is already expensive enough as it is. I don't need it going up for this. So I'm like, it's fine. I paid $350 for this thing, so I was like, I just need to get it home. I'll fix it or I'll buy another one. Either way, this vehicle is not worth me paying higher insurance for. So I'm sitting there and like it won't start because it wouldn't. The plastic was in there. I didn't know this at the time. And it wouldn't start. I'm like, all right, cool. So what's the deal here? And I get out and I'm looking at it. And I'm like, cool. This is broke up, or that plastic piece is wedged up in there. And I'm yanking on it. And I was like, cool. I'm gonna have to have Dad come with like something where I can cut this out, and then it should run after that. And then like these neighbors start coming around. I'm only like half a mile from her house. And it's like some neighbors come out. I guess they heard the impact, and they're like, "Oh, don't worry, sweetie. We've already called the law. It's okay." I was like, "Why would you call them?"
Yeah.
So then I like run it, slide up under it, and I'm yanking on this thing. And I tear the whole shroud out from underneath it. And I was like, "Cool, we're free." And I start it back up, and I was like, "Cool." I already know I bounced across that ditch, so I don't know with the damage and everything like that I ain't gonna risk it. I just go ahead and put it in 4 low, and we jump back across this ditch, and I take it back to her house. Cause like I've already called my parents, and I was like, "Yo, we're gonna have to come and figure this out." So like my mom and dad's already on the way to try to figure this mess out, and so I take it back to her house, and I call them, and I'm like, "I got it." I was like, "I'm at her house. You just come meet me here." I was like, I'm in trouble. I'm in high school. I know mom's gonna take the car. It's not. Dad can drive it home. That's fine. I'll just enjoy the 30 minutes of freedom I have left before they get here. And I was in trouble for something else. It had nothing to do with me wrecking the car. Wouldn't anyways. How are they gonna get mad about it? I bought that car. My job. My money. It wasn't their car. It was in my name. But we get there. The thing that concerned me was that I put it in 4 low, which probably saved my life today, because when I put it in gear, it just went.
Oh.
And then without me touching the pedals, we're doing 30 mile an hour in 4 low, which is like we're 4 low tops out so you don't blow your engine. So I was like, well, this is cool. I was like, probably hit something like the throttle cable's jammed, something like that, which I think might have been all that it was, because it was fine after this. But then, so Dad drove it home, and he drove it like probably 10 miles. And I was like, just so you know, you don't need to touch the gas. It's gonna go. And like, he gets it probably like halfway back to town, because she lived on the other side of town. And stopped somewhere, and he was like, did you put this thing in four-wheel? And I was like, yeah, because it was in the ditch. And he was like, cool. So he's like, well, it's still in 4 low. So he puts it, I think, in 4 high, or maybe 2-wheel or something. It's running 60 mile an hour without touching the pedals. Whole way back home. And then like I'm grounded for a while, so it sets up here or whatever. But we got it. It set for a while, and I was like, cool, I'm not grounded anymore, whatever, I need to, or I might have still been grounded, and I'm just like not allowed to drive it, but I can move it around the yard, because it's also like a work truck. I gotta move trailers around the yard and stuff. So like I'm not like, so I have access to it, so I'm like, I'm gonna try to get it fixed, so when I'm not grounded anymore, I have a car. But I mean, the throttle wasn't stuck anymore, so I was like, that's cool. The wheel is kicked all the way over, and I was like, A-arms, tie rods, bushings, everything's got to be replaced pretty much on that corner. I was like, I have more money in the A-arms and stuff than I paid for the whole vehicle. It's a wash at this point. So I was like, I'll buy another one. This just be a work truck. I'll use it around the yard or whatever. I use it for a long time. I cleaned this whole mess up here. This used to be growed up. Couldn't walk through it. And I brung it down the driveway over here in 4 low and just hammered on it and jumped up this bank and just started running trees down. Because I was like, I don't care. It's on its way to the scrapyard anyways. It never made it to the scrapyard though. Real cool. Dad found somebody. This is 3 or 4 cars later, but I still had it. I'm just beating it up in the yard. Somebody had one pretty much identical to it, but they needed like the back window and stuff out of it, and I think the transmission. So we sell it to them for parts, and then I forget what it was, but I was like, there was some reason we had contact with them after we sold it to them, maybe to get like a part off of it or something. And we were like, how'd that like transmission work for you? And he's like, oh, it didn't. And I was like, why? Because like we drove it to his house. So I was like, it's perfectly fine. Apparently when I hit the tree, it twisted the transmission around in there. So the bell house, instead of like breaking or something like that, it just twisted. So he's like, everything's twisted. He's like, I don't know how the thing was running. And I was like, well, it was.
It was running.
Not only was it running, it was working. Get some good times out of that one still yet. But at some point, I think before we sold it to him or something, we took that wheel off of it. And where it was like bent up and stuff and the tie rods was digging into it, it had dug like a 1/4 inch into my rim. And I was like, how long before this was just going to blow out on the inside? Like, it couldn't have had much time left on it. What we keep looking at over here?
Spend the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, you can end on the total blazer.
Total
Close this
blazer.
out and we'll start another.
Alright. Well, thanks again for joining us. I'm Hobo. This is Ryan. I don't know why I keep putting my head there.
Figured out.
What did I just say?
You said that was Ryan.
Thanks again for joining us. I'm Hobo. I'm joined with Ryan Sampson. And remember, no matter if life's good or life's bad, it'd be like that.